Bills Mafia, the journey to greatness continues. This team is doing everything it can to improve, adapt, and evolve because we all know the standard in Buffalo is nothing short of championship football. Whether it's bringing in proven talent like Joey Bosa or watching a young star like Keon Coleman start to shine, this roster is loaded with stories you've got to hear. Before we break down two major updates from camp, smash that like button, subscribe to Buffalo Beat News, and turn on those notifications so you don't miss any exclusive Bills coverage. Alright, let's talk about the return of one of the NFL's fiercest pass rushers and a young wide receiver ready to explode in 2025. First up, all eyes are on Joey Bosa. After missing 20 of 36 games over the last 2 seasons, Bosa's health was a major concern heading into free agency. And let's be honest, it's part of the reason he landed in Buffalo on a 1-year, $12.6 million prove it deal. There's more on the line than just a paycheck. There's an additional $3.5 million in incentives if he can log 65% of defensive snaps and hit 12 sacks this season. But here's the catch. He hasn't played that many snaps since 2021. He hasn't recorded 12 sacks in a season since 2017. And now, just weeks into the offseason program, Bosa is dealing with a minor calf injury. Not ideal, especially when learning a new system under Sean McDermott. But here's the encouraging part. According to Lance Lisowski and Ryan O'Halloran of the Buffalo News, there is no question Bosa will be ready for the start of training. Camp, that's big. This isn't just another free agent signing. This is Joey Bosa, a former Defensive Rookie of the Year and 4-time Pro Bowler. Now 29 years old, Bosa may not be in his prime physically, but if the Bills can keep him healthy, he doesn't have to be an every snap player to be a difference maker. With Von Miller gone, Bosa is expected to start opposite Greg Rousseau, with A.J. Epenesa continuing to rotate in heavily and possibly holding down the starting role until Bosa's fully ready. If Buffalo gets even a flash of vintage Bosa, especially down the stretch in December and January, it could be a total game changer. And that's why the team's being patient, smart, measured, but hopeful. Let's flip it to the offensive side now. And this might be the story Bills fans are secretly most excited about. After a solid but slightly underwhelming rookie year, Keon Coleman is turning heads as a breakout candidate in 2025. Bradley Locker from PFF just named him to his projected breakout team. And for good reason. Coleman had 556 yards and 4 touchdowns in his first NFL season. Not terrible. But let's not forget he was the 33rd overall pick. Expectations were sky high. And honestly, his performance left some fans wanting more. Now let's look deeper. What held Coleman back? For starters, he had a 13.5% drop rate, which was 8th highest in the NFL among WRs with 50-plus targets. He also ranked in the 0th percentile in separation rate and just 2nd percentile against single coverage. But despite those numbers, Locker points out that Coleman's deep ball skills and YOC ability make him a serious threat, especially if he tightens up those fundamentals. And here's the key factor, Amari Cooper, who was acquired mid-season last year and ate into Coleman's target share, is not expected to return in 2025. That opens up a ton of opportunities for Keon to build real chemistry with Josh Allen and step into a WR1 or WR2 role, depending on how the rest of the depth chart shakes out. This Bills team isn't rebuilding, they're reloading. Joey Bosa gives the defense a chance to regain its pass rushing bite, especially if Daquan Jones, Ed Oliver, and Greg Rousseau stay healthy up front. Keon Coleman has a real shot to become Allen's go-to deep threat, especially as Dalton Kincaid dominates the middle of the field. Both players have something to prove. Both are playing with chips on their shoulders, and both could be critical pieces in Buffalo's path back to the AFC Championship and beyond. When the Bills signed Curtis Samuel to a 3-year deal worth $24 million, expectations were sky high. We were talking about adding speed, versatility, and experience to a WR room that needed it, but as the 2024 season unfolded, those high hopes hit a few speed bumps. Injuries got in the way. He dealt with a turf toe injury late last summer, then a banged-up shoulder midseason. As a result, Samuel never really had a chance to get in rhythm. He was often limited in and out of the sea lineup and couldn't build consistent chemistry with Josh Allen. But if you look at the playoffs, he finally started to flash. Touchdowns in both the wild card round and the AFC Championship game. When the lights were brightest, Curtis Samuel showed up. And now, heading into 2025, the tone is completely different. Samuel showed up to minicamp in Orchard Park looking fresh, fast, and motivated. And when he talked to the media this week, he said it himself. I feel good, confident, feel fast and excited for this journey. It's just all about being healthy, just getting in the rhythm. He's healthy, he's locked in. And let's not forget, this isn't his first rodeo with Joe Brady. Back in 2020, when Brady was the Panthers' offensive coordinator, Samuel had over 1,000 yards from scrimmage. That includes not just receiving yards, but yards on the ground too. He was a Swiss Army knife in that system. Now, with a full offseason to get right and a second year in Brady's playbook, Samuel is positioned to thrive. It's easy to forget about Samuel because the wide receiver room in Buffalo has been a headline machine. Elijah Moore, the exciting free agent pickup, Joshua Palmer, the physical presence with sure hands, Keon Coleman, the rookie with sky-high potential. And it makes sense. The Bills are building depth and creating competition. But sometimes, in the shadow of all that noise, a veteran playmaker like Samuel becomes the X factor. Let's not ignore the resume. 4 seasons with 600-plus receiving yards. The speed when he entered the league. Ability to line up outside in the slot and even out of the backfield. And now he's catching passes from Josh Allen. A quarterback who can extend plays and turn broken routes into game-changing moments. You add in that comfort with Brady's system and his improved health, and you've got a guy who could quietly become one of the most important weapons in this offense. So what can we expect this season? Samuel's not just trying to fit in, he's trying to make noise. Think third down plays, jet sweeps, red zone packages, and big-time USC opportunities. He might not be WR1. That could go to Keon Coleman or Elijah Moore, but Samuel could easily be one of the most efficient players in this offense. He doesn't have to put up town 200 yards to be effective. If he gives you 700, 800 yards, 5, 6 touchdowns, and key conversions on third downs, that's massive. Especially in tight playoff games where every possession matters. He's got the tools, he's got the experience, and finally, he's got his health. All right, Mafia, now I want to hear from you. Will Joey Bosa stay healthy enough to earn that full contract and help lead this pass rush? Is Keon Coleman primed to become a breakout star and justify his high draft slot in year 2? And do you believe these pieces are enough to push Buffalo over the top in 2025? Drop your thoughts in the comments. I'll be reading them all and featuring your best takes in the next video. And if you love this breakdown, show some love with a like. Hit that subscribe button and don't forget to ring the bell so you never miss a beat on all things Bills. Until next time, stay loyal, stay loud, and as always, go Bills!